I wrote you a story. It's about Uranus. Not your anus, but Uranus. Want to hear it? Here it go. The Battle of Yorktown in 1781 was a moment of British surrender. When it came time to wave the white flag with pen and paper, the British made a point to only face the French as a way to poo-poo the Americans. When General Lafayette noticed this, he snapped an order to his soldier band to begin playing Yankee Doodle. Uriah was a history buff, and thinking about this always made him giggle. The idea that a French general in the 18th century was just as honorary as his mother always made him giddy. Humming the tune, he began to stir the cinnamon and clove into his apple cider with a dash of nutmeg. The next morning was the autumn potluck at his work, and everyone always loved his cider, especially with a little rum. After a few minutes of stirring and humming and giggling to himself, the doorbell rang. Uriah tightened up his coffee-colored flannel robe and went to answer the door. As it cracked, he noticed a strange blue glow. Fully opened, he realized why. There was a man standing with a big grin, and he was wearing a strange aquamarine suit, which matched the wearer's eyes. Uriah looked him up and down and began to ask, "Can I help?" But before he could finish, the man said, "Oh damn, it's a shame you opened your door tonight, or a delight, depends on you. I've been going door to door for hours, but you're the first to answer, so I guess you're it." He looked like a salesman on his way to chaperone prom. "Oh, I'm sorry, I don't need anything at the moment." And as he began to close the door, it swung open with a blast. "Well, I'm sorry, Sonny, but you answered, so now you don't have a choice." "Well, you have a choice, but letting me in is not one of them. Pleased to meet you. Hope you can guess my name." He looked at him, eyebrows arching and his grin growing sideways. "I'm just kidding. The name's Joe, and we will be spending the evening together." "Well, no, not like that. The suit and the robe stay on," he chuckled. Uriah started to ask him to leave, in a firm way, he thought to himself, but the words just would not exit his mouth. He just stared as Joe went into the kitchen and began tasting his cider. "Delicious! I bet it'll be even better when I come back," Joe said. He went and sat on Uriah's couch and patted the cushion next to him, despite Uriah's growing anger, fear, and maybe a little intrigue. His body moved without his permission, sitting him next to Joe. "Now, here is your choice, Sonny." He put a small box into Uriah's hand. "If you open this box, you'll be immortal." Uriah slowly bent his head to look at the box. Joe snapped in his face. "But there's a catch. You'll never be able to learn anything new. However, if you come with me and you do what I say, you can continue your life however you choose, your choice." Uriah just stared at him for a while. It felt like every nerve he had was shooting off, but his mind could only go in circles. "Tell him to leave, this must be a dream. Tell him to leave, this must be a dream." Joe snapped again, and it felt like a bowling ball hit the bottom of Uriah's gut. It made no sense, but he could feel it. He knew that he had no choice but this choice. So he looked at the box, then raised his eyes to meet Joe's. "I'll go." "Oh, splendid. I do loathe when people choose the box. Put some shoes on. The robe is fine. We'll leave the cider to simmer. It ought not to be long." Unsure of whether that might mean there's nothing in the box, and he chose moving to a second location with this lunatic over a possibly empty box, Uriah put his shoes on. Bent over to tie his shoes, he saw Joe's ugly loafers appear in front of him. Joe crouched down, eye level with Uriah, put his hand in his face, and snapped. This made Uriah blink. When his eyes blinked back open, they were standing at the edge of a cliff. It was dark and the wind was loud. Uriah wished he had pants on. As soon as Joe began to speak, the wind, still blowing, became silent. "Okay, now you have to go walk off this cliff." Uriah's head swung around to meet Joe's stupid grin. "Oh no, don't worry. On to the next journey, I always say." Uriah just stared at him for a few counts before he was able to speak. I don't want to die. I think I'll actually take the box now, please." "Oh no, Sonny, it doesn't work like that. You made your choice. Now walk this way." He gestured toward the edge of the cliff where It was so dark, it looked like there might be no bottom. No, really, I've got cider to make, and I'm not ready to die. I don't want to walk off a cliff. This is a dream. It's gotta be. This is too weird. I just want to go home now, please. Sorry, boyo. You made your choice. This is how it has to be. That's just your amygdala trying to save you from trying something new. Now hurry up, please. I must be getting back to your cider. The box is a much worse fate, I promise you. I couldn't tell you that when I presented the options, but now that we're here, I think it's safe to let you know that you made the right decision. Just think, eternal life, just as you are. Learning provides options, freedom, rebellion, expansion, joy, and so much more that you'd be missing out on if you didn't take that step. Uriah took the step. In the drop, he saw his life flash, you know, like they say. He saw himself in school, he saw himself at work. Man, he never really did like that job much, but he sure did like his coworker Stella. He thought of all the things that he might have done before his untimely death. He began to worry about his cider on the stove, then he remembered Joe would take care of it. He dropped about a foot onto a grassy, soft ledge. He turned around and Joe disappeared with a chuckle. What would you do? Thank you.